So, of course, we all want to be beautiful. It's a no-brainer. I want it to be beautiful. I'll own that. I wanted beauty bad, bad, bad. And I spent years trying to change almost every aspect of my face and my body in order to achieve the world's ideal of what beauty is today. Now, this obsession with beauty left me feeling extremely damaged and left me feeling like I was on a beauty crazy train, just going round and round in pointless circles on the same track, getting nowhere. I wish somebody, some wise person 40 years ago, had pulled me aside and shared with me everything that I'm about to share with you during the next few minutes. If that had happened, I would have been spared so much pain and heartache. It didn't happen. But I share this video with you now in the hope that I might spare you years of wasted time and effort on board the beauty crazy train. So thank you for joining me. Welcome. My name is Sarah. I'm going to dive straight in and share with you everything that I've learned during the last 40 years about our obsession with beauty, about how damaging it is, and how we can quit it. So I'm going to take off my shoes first of all because they're killing me. And then I'm going to dive straight in and I'm going to tell you about a dream that you have. I know that you have this dream. I had this dream for many years. It's a dream that's shared by millions and millions of women around the world. And it's a really magnificent dream, I'll give you that. But it's also a totally elusive dream, in that however hard we chase this dream, we never achieve it. Now, in this dream, you are, I'm going to close my eyes as I describe this dream because it is so truly magnificent. You are on a beautiful beach, like the Seychelles and the Maldives, and you are very close to the surf. You can hear the waves in the background. You're under a pristine blue sky. You are twirling round and round on the silky sands, just feeling ecstatic. You are feeling better than you've ever felt before. Because here's the thing. You are wearing a size 10 bikini. But not just that. Somehow, you are looking younger than you've ever looked before. You are looking like a teenager. But not just that. Somehow, also, all the pesky things about your appearance that you've always worked so hard to improve, all those things have fallen into place and everything is perfect. Your eyebrows are arched just right. Your cheekbones are so high. They're so high. Your lips are pillowy. Your shoulder blades are so prominent. You're actually literally purring every time you touch your shoulder blades. Your hips are incredibly narrow. You've got thigh gap. What? You've got thigh gap. Most importantly, you're wearing a size 10 bikini. So you are in your magnificent dream, feeling so fantastic because finally you've arrived. Finally you are thin enough. Finally you are looking young enough. Finally you're perfect enough. Finally you are beautiful. Hallelujah. 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 So I said that this is an elusive dream because it is. However hard we try and achieve this dream, and boy do we try hard, we never get there. We never arrive. We never wake up one morning and say to ourselves, you know what, Sarah, job well done. You are looking quite beautiful enough. You can just relax going forward. Of course, we never reach that point because we are chasing a moving target. This beauty ideal that we chase is a target that has been set for us by the world out there, primarily by the following industries. Of course, the beauty industry, the fashion industry, the fitness industry, the diet industry. Now, all of these people who work in these industries don't care about how we value ourselves. They don't care about the quality of our lives. They go to work every day for 8 hours and figure out how to make women feel like they are not good enough. That wherever we are, however we look, we need to be doing more, we need to be improving more, we need to be spending more money. Now, bless them, I've got nothing against these industries, it's commerce, but I think it's so important for us to understand where this beauty ideal that we spend so many years chasing, where it comes from. So invariably what happens is that we keep trying to achieve this goal, this moving target, and we keep failing to achieve it because, hello, it's a moving target. And we keep failing, feeling worse about ourselves, failing, feeling worse about ourselves. In other words, we are on a beauty crazy train. Now, I was on the crazy train for 40 years, as I mentioned, and I'll tell you how I first came to be on the crazy train. And this is a really interesting thing to ask yourself. When did you first realize that you were unacceptable the way you were? I was 12 when that happened to me. Now, my mother, bless her, took a look at me one day and realized that I had a double chin. So in mothering me the best way she knew how, bearing in mind that she had been on the crazy train herself her whole life, always trying to flatten her very lovely tummy, always trying to eat less chocolate, always trying to do stuff with her hair. Now, my mother, bless her, put me on a diet to help me solve my double chin issue. Now, I continued to diet for the next 40 years and kept getting fatter and fatter, but that's another subject for another day. The point is that that was my introduction to the crazy train. That was when I first realized that I was unacceptable the way I was and I needed to change. Now, it bears mentioning that I grew up in an incredibly religious, cultish community. And the emphasis in this community was on spirituality. In this incredibly austere religious community, I was still indoctrinated as a young girl with the message that beauty mattered, that I needed to be beautiful. And I'll tell you how that message was given to me. It's so true that the message, the beauty message, is always so subtle, which makes it so much more lethal. But anyway, so we used to study the Bible, and we studied the women in the Bible. People like Sarah, Tamar, Esther, Rachel, all these holy, pious women, yes. But we were told that these women were not just holy, but were also incredibly beautiful, physically beautiful. So there I was in this religious community, being given the message that beauty mattered, that for women beauty was important. Now, of course, we never heard anything about how handsome the men in the Bible were. That we didn't hear. And of course, if you're living on the planet today, you know that men are somehow mostly exempt from the obsession with beauty. And I'm going to say this, that most of the men I know feel a lot better about themselves than the women I know. And I'm going to say that a lot of the women I know, when it comes to their appearance, women feel like an apology and men feel like porn stars. The inequality between men and women when it comes to beauty is another subject for another day. The point is that I grew up believing that beauty counted, beauty mattered, and that I needed to try and be beautiful, and boy did I try. Now, during the time that I was working so hard to change my face, change my body, be beautiful, I genuinely believed that beauty equaled happiness. Now, it's embarrassing to say this, but it's the truth that I believed if I could just get beautiful, then by some mythical process, my life would become amazing. I didn't believe that because I was stupid or immature and educated. I believed that because that is the message that we incessantly receive. We can't walk out our front doors today without being whiplashed by images of young, thin, beautiful people enjoying all of life's riches, being happy, being loved, being adored, being befriended, having good times, going overseas, going skiing, being on speedboats. All the amazing things that we want in our lives are associated with these beautiful people. So yes, of course we believe that beauty equals happiness. I hit a beauty wall when I turned 40. Now, I'll share with you that this was soon after I'd lost my older brother, and I was in deep grief, and I was feeling very raw, and I had no patience for nonsense. And not just that, I was also fatter than I'd ever been. This is after 40 years of dieting. I was close to 80 kilograms. And now that was very far away from the beauty ideal. The beauty ideal being you got to be thin, thinner, thinnest. Now, it's also embarrassing to admit this, but I will, that for the entire time that I was on the beauty crazy train, my goal, my wet dream was to weigh 49 kilograms. Now, if you take one look at this body, you know straight away this is never going to weigh 49 kilograms, but that was my delusional goal for so long. So there I was, turning 40, very far away from 49 kilograms, and not just that, I was just feeling totally disconnected from my body. I was feeling at war with my body, at war with food. I was feeling some days plain, most days I was feeling really ugly. And I was just feeling extremely unhappy in myself. And I decided to take a long, hard look at myself. And I realized, Sarah, stop. Just stop. Not only are you not moving forward with this beauty obsession, you are moving backwards. Just stop for a moment, just breathe, be still for a moment. And I did. I was still for a moment and I decided to climb off the beauty crazy train. Now the first thing that I did was I decided to reflect on whether I could redefine beauty for myself. That was like a really refreshing thing to think about. And what I started to think about was, what if beauty could mean confidence? A really confident woman, to me, is beautiful. Interesting. What if beauty could mean empowerment? Now, empowerment to me simply means the ability to make choices in my life, having power. What if beauty could mean power? What if beauty could mean health? For so long, I'd focused on the externals, on my boob size, on the size of my waist, on the width of my hips. What if health could now be beauty? What if I could focus on being healthier, being fitter, being more toned? What if that was beauty? What if kindness was my new definition of beauty? As cliched as it sounds, to me, a really kind person is really beautiful. Now, when I started doing this exercise of redefining beauty, it was so refreshing for me because, first of all, I wasn't going round and round anymore on a crazy train, but also because suddenly I was establishing guidelines for myself. I wasn't getting beauty ideals imposed on me from outside. I was starting to think about beauty ideals that meant something to me. So that was the first step. Then, as I climbed off the crazy train, I decided that I was never, ever gonna diet again as long as I lived. I was gonna make peace with food. And probably most importantly, I was going to find ways to feel joyful and to experience joy now. Not at some mythical point in the future when I was thinner, when I looked younger, when I was blonder, when I was more perfect. Now. I was going to find ways to feel good now. So this was all very liberating. This was the journey that I started in my 40s. I'm now 50. And it's been a very rewarding experience. And I have to tell you, though, that I'm human. And there's still some days when I wake up and I feel like I'm schizophrenic when it comes to beauty. Some days I feel amazing. Most days I feel amazing. But some days I still wake up and feel, Sarah, you're just not thin enough. And you know what? While we criticize, and you know what? You're not doing enough to fight the signs of aging. The Kardashians are doing a lot more than you're doing. You got to get it together, girl. You got to try. You got to improve. So there are still some days when I feel that, but most of the time, I feel incredibly good within myself. I'm fitter than I've ever been. Ironically, what? I'm actually thinner than I've ever been. Not 49 kilograms, but thinner than I've ever been. And I also, most importantly, feel empowered. I feel confident. I'm able to be kind a lot of the time, and I feel beautiful. So I shared this video so as to, if nothing else, give you pause for thought and allow you to just take a moment to be still and consider whether you want to waste your precious life on board the beauty crazy train. And if you decide that you don't want to, my hope is that this video has given you a small glimpse of an alternative life.